Welcome to another Unreal Foos tutorial. Today I want to teach you about the dink shot, or as my wife likes to call it, the grandma shot. Okay, first off, let me say that I want to show you the dink shot because I did a push kick tutorial and I also want to do a push kick series tutorial. And a push kick series is basically doing the push kick shot plus adding dink options. And so I want to talk about the dink. And then that way I can describe what the dink is, and then I can do push kicks and pull kick tutorials for that without having to worry about explaining what the shot is. Okay, so what is a dink? So a dink is basically a shot that will go at an angle, and you can think of a dink as basically a brush pass, a brush going at an angle towards the goal. So you can, I recommend that first we start learning the dink shot off of a stationary position, and then you can try to move the ball and go into a dink. But start out with the ball stationary. If you look at my push kick tutorial, I say, the reason why I like to start my push kick from in front of this line or a little bit, behind it, but just around that area, and it's because it allows me to do dinks and it allows me to do push kicks from that spot. And so I want to start out by having the same position as what I do with the push kick, having the ball behind the bar, and this will allow me to do a nice brush from this stationary position. So what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to hit the different angles off of this position. So the first one is being able to hit this short hole here. So if you're sitting here, all you're gonna do is you're basically gonna go on top of the ball. You're gonna be set up as if you're gonna be shooting a push kick, but from this position, all you want to be able to do is go right on top of the ball and brush it towards the goal. So you can start out trying to do a smaller speed or a slower speed, and then gradually increase the speed. But you should be able to get a good brush at that speed. So if you set up, and you can go like that, and you can practice so that it goes and you can score pretty much right at this angle. You shouldn't be hitting this guy when it's that wide open. You should be able to just go right off like that. I mean, you can do. It's a little bit faster shot, but essentially that's what you want to do. And again, it's just having the ball back helps a lot. You're basically just moving the guy you're just moving the guy on top of the ball and then going into an angle, and notice how the bar essentially moves that way so that it allows for the brushing motion to go through. So if I set up right here, right, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just moving the guy on top, and I'm basically brushing like that. So the better you can disguise it, you're gonna have a better push kick series, which again I'll talk about in a different tutorial. But just being here, you can move the ball around and then go to that dink shot right there. So that's one angle, but then you also want to be able to hit the different angles, because if the defense moves to this point, now you have a nice split that you can hit here. If you're looking at it from a front shot, you can see that there's a big hole here, and you may not necessarily see a big hole from this angle, but if you're looking at it from the forward's point of view, there's a huge split right here. So you should be able to then, from this same position, vary the angle at which you're going to do this dink shot, and you should be able to split the defense like that. So, and in this scenario, I can actually move the ball just a little bit and then go into that shot, or I can control it just by trying to do my shot at a different angle like that. And once you get really good control of this, you are going to be able to brush the ball essentially at almost a 45-degree angle so that it hits this long hole from this position. So you can practice. You can practice the shot like that. You can move it a little bit in practice, but essentially that's it's the same idea whether you do it stationary or moving. And this is a great shot. It typically works great against newer players, but when you see my push kick series tutorial, you'll see that it's an essential shot, and it will open up, and you should be able to score it against even pros and good players, because once you have a good push kick long, they have to respect that, and so the defense at some point will give you either one of these splits or give you short holes, and it's a shot that if you're able to do it correctly, you should be able to score it on anybody. And it's also a frustrating shot because it looks like it's a shot that doesn't move very fast, but it's hard to stop because once there's so many options, the goalie can only block so many holes. So it's a great shot if you can execute it. I remember when I was just starting out, somebody scored the shot. I think it was maybe my third tournament that I've ever played, an actual professional tournament, and at a local tournament, and I got killed by it. And so I always remembered it from then, and I practiced it and got good at it too. So anyways, hope that helps. And the last thing I'll say is that you can also do this shot obviously from this side, and this will help when you do a pull kick. And I'll do a pull kick shot tutorial and a pull kick series tutorial. But the dink from up here will be essentially the same idea, is being able to do that and vary the distance when you do that shot, and that'll open up being able to do a pull kick. So if you set up right here, you open that up, and that'll give you a long pull kick. So I'll talk about that as well, but practice doing the dinks from either side, and it'll be a nice shot to your repertoire.